Monday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday.
Whew.
How you doing?
Well, boys, here we are again. Another episode of the Indistinct Conversation podcast. But this, if I'm not mistaken, is the 90th episode of this podcast, which means there are only 10 episodes until 100. And what happens at 100 is this podcast will go away forever.
It's canceled.
We're going to cancel ourselves after 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this is getting everywhere.
That happens.
We'll clean it up after the show.
Okay. So
Oh, man, that TV's
electronics.
No, it's
Have you seen the prices on some of these things?
it got on the shitty mic stand, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Circuit City.
Yeah, the 100 episode thing's a big landmark, man.
Yeah. I mean, after 100, this thing's gonna go off a cliff. We're gonna just start doing like full podcast reaction videos. It's like a whole 90 minutes is just gonna be us doing a reaction video.
I mean, that's fine though.
No, it's not. It's terrible. It's so lazy.
I watch a lot of streamers who do that shit. It's kind of entertaining.
I don't know. I can't get into reaction videos. There's like, I guess at first when they first started happening, it was like, okay, this is cool. Like certain things, but I don't know.
I mean, it depends on like the person. Like if I think it's gonna be funny, then yeah, I'll watch it. Like fucking that's cringe. Like those are always funny. But,
Yeah.
like fucking just any old Tom, Dick, and Harry doing like a reaction video to funny memes. I'm like, I can just scroll through Twitter. I don't need to watch somebody else like laugh at something.
Actually, I forgot which one it was, but or what company it was on YouTube. But when they did the George Lucas reacts, those were hilarious.
I hadn't seen that.
It's hilarious. Like his reaction to like episode 9, and like that is.
Was it bad?
Poor man.
Oh yeah, it wasn't really George Lucas, but they had someone.
So they just got some Star Wars nerd to dress up as George Lucas.
Yeah, but his George Lucas impression is A1. Like,
okay,
that's pretty cool.
Shaboba, do you want to watch some episode 9?
It was like, oh look, there's my name. That's another check for Daddy.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny.
Jesus Christ.
That's funny, but a lot of those guys, a lot of the newer streamers I've been watching, like Hugo and Jake, or Hannah and Jake, fuck. That's a bad fuck up. I'm sorry. And Hassan Abi and all those guys, like, you pull up a stupid news coverage and just kind of break down the shit that's wrong, or like somebody who's like, you pull up like a Ben Shapiro or an Abby Shapiro.
If it's the news, is that like technically a reaction video? It's the news.
But more like somebody like a Ben Shapiro, where you can just be like, this idiot says this. This is why this is wrong, and just refute it in real time.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a shelf life on that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like Ben Shapiro.
You gotta watch it that week, or it's dead.
Yeah, it's like Ben Shapiro is gonna say a bunch of stupid shit for the foreseeable future. So it's like, do you really just want to be the guy who like talks about Ben Shapiro all the time? There are greener pastures. There are juicier steaks out there.
I hear you. I mean, some of those guys go a long way on it. But,
I know, but it's like
But I think you're right. The like, for example, those Nothing But Nelson videos you've been putting out are a little bit more concise because you can actually get your points organized.
Pow.
Instead of just being there live on Twitch, like, so how do I reply?
No, I shoot all that. I do all that on the fly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I forgot to introduce you guys.
Yeah, we did the intro.
I'm Nelson Crawford, obviously, and I'm joined by Xander Cook, and Jason Mays is back once again.
Hello.
Because he owes me a life debt, and is therefore forced to be on my podcast.
Is that called slavery?
No. No, it's not.
Why are you asking me, man? Why would you think I know anything about that?
Well, I mean, is it?
I don't. Just like ignoring my last name right now. Nobody look up the history of Hawaii, please.
Black people can't be racist. I mean, yeah.
Oh god.
But anyway, Jason's back. I was kidding about the life debt.
just turns out it's fun to hang out.
Yeah, it's just we all like to hang out and braid each other's hair. So here we are again with
Kelly
another
style
episode of the podcast. Yeah,
that'd actually be really fun. I'd love it if you guys did my hair for me one day.
What does that mean?
Cornrows.
Yeah.
Just fuck my shit up, man.
Just do it live.
You've had dreadlocks. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Fuck it, just do it
What
live.
else do you need to appropriate?
Give me cornrows, but a mullet of cornrows.
Oh man, you should get a mullet. Tia did say you should get a mullet.
That's peak white boy, right?
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Yeah. So it's officially Christmas.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Christmas? Because we talked about some shitty Christmas gifts last week.
Yeah, we kind of like preempted it a little bit, but I like
Yeah.
that.
Now that Thanksgiving's over, you hear the bells from All I Want for Christmas coming in.
Yeah,
and you
Mariah
better run
Carey's-
like hell.
that
dude.
happened. My little sister had a friend over for like 3 days in a row, and they spent the whole time upstairs baking cookies and singing Christmas carols, dancing, fucking putting up all those decorations, and it was cute for like the first night. And then they like crash and wake up and just keep doing it. It was All I Want for Christmas. I've already heard it too many times this year. And anyone who's worked in retail, like me and Jason at Guitar Center, dude, that fucking Guitar Center Christmas playlist.
Just
Oh
cringe.
boy.
It's like all I want for Christmas is you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then when they do like, there's like the pop punk covers of all
Oh yeah,
those songs.
those are just.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
man. It's so awful.
Oh man.
Think of just Warped Tour does Christmas, and that's pretty much
Oh
it.
fuck me, dude! That's like when I saw that they had like a bunch of like pop punk bands covering Disney songs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Same vibes.
It's like, don't do
those,
that.
Those old the punk goes pop
Okay,
compilations.
at the time, yeah, those were cool. Like the first one
Yeah.
was probably cool.
the
but
first
then it was
time you
just
heard a
like,
local hardcore band do a hip hop song.
the first one was cool, but then it's just like after the 20th, then you just kind of like.
yeah, it turns into now that's what I call music.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
music.
Now that's what I call scene music.
Oh boy. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, it gets to a point where like a lot of these bands just become indistinguishable from each other.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything. I'm not in a band anymore. Yeah, so
I mean, I guess it depends, because I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I know some people that, hey, they're just going to ride whatever's popular, and that's cool to them. And some people look at it as an art form, some form of, if I'm using the word correctly, catharsis, where, it's just, for them, it's just their thing. But some people, and you got to respect the hustle. I mean,
yeah.
do you have to like the music? No.
Yeah, like I love playing
there
shows, but
was-
only if I like the songs I'm
Do you
playing.
remember? Do you remember like about a week ago or so? There was that Escape the Fate music video going around.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not a huge fan of those guys. so I
No,
didn't really
okay,
check it
that
out.
fucking super cringy video of that like dude who's like it like opens and he's like in his daughter's room or something, and he's like fucking like rapping about like then like it turns into like this whole other thing. You remember that? And you were like, "Is this Enzo Amore?" And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah, I literally thought it was that fucking
Oh my god, have you seen
consensual
this shit?
penis.
No, I haven't.
It's really
pretty-
fucking bad, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even like listen to it for long. I like played it for a second. I was like,
it's like on a level of like, you remember that like Jeffree Star like era like MySpace like crunkcore shit.
yeah.
It's like that.
It's like all the bad parts of
Like,
music
were you
at
ever
once.
into that kind of
No.
thing?
Yeah.
Like, I think the closest that I veered into that was Under Oath. Under Oath. I'd say Sky Eats Airplane. Sky, because I like.
Interesting.
What
Yeah.
about I Wrestled with Bear once? You remember that?
That's kind of where I felt.
I
I
toured-
heard them and I was kind of like,
back in the day, my old band toured with them, and
What?
yeah,
Oh,
it was,
shit. That's kinda
yeah,
cool.
It was, so I don't know, like again, for me, I can respect the hustle of some of these artists, but that doesn't mean I have to necessarily like their music.
Right. Yeah.
Which
that's me too.
yeah,
That's, you know,
and it's just like, hey, dude, like that person bust. Like, there are some people, like, I hate the people that shit on bands that will sit down and don't do jack shit. And I'm just like, look, there are some bands that, yeah, some shit is handed to them, but there are a lot of those bands that bust their ass, and that's the thing you don't see.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this band can suck ass, but hey, man, they're working.
Hey, trust. Yeah, I've been there. I've been in a shitty band that tried really hard, and people actually thought we were pretty good.
Yeah, I've never like actually gone out and played shows unless it was like totally stoked about it, or it was so mind-numbingly easy that it was like, why? How could I say no to it? Like when my buddy asked me to be in the fucking Sex Pistols tribute band, I was like, oh, I just get drunk and play punk. Oh, it's easy, like prototype punk rock.
Sonic Knuckles. I know.
Yeah, sorry. It's a
No, it's
We
fine.
got retro
Off-camera
commercials
shit.
on the TV for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my jam.
Yeah.
But
this is why you watch the video version, folks.
yeah. Well, this is I mean, to be honest, like for me, I love playing shows. There's nothing like it, and I think for me, I love music in that sense of just being able to create. Do I enjoy the band politics side of it? Not really.
That is what I'm bad at. That's why I tend to not be in bands for very long because like.
But I mean, there's politics with everything. I mean, getting into YouTube, there's all sorts of fucking YouTube politics and like
infighting and the bickering.
Yeah, and like, you know, I see people ignoring fucked up shit all the time because somebody has fucking clout. So like,
I
mean, that's music. That's any industry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's any
there's
industry.
politics
Like,
in fucking all of this shit.
but
I mean,
I don't know. I personally, I try to stay out of like all of that shit. Like, I mean, for me, it's mainly, and I hate to sound pompous or pretentious, it's like, but for me, it really is about the music, and like anything else is just like, okay, this is this drama. Don't care. I'm gonna stay over here. I think that's the black folks equivalent of saying mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People like people
the drummer's
take
fighting with the bassist. You just stand there and
I'm
hold your
just
guitar.
like,
Man.
I'm like, all right.
But this thing, people take that as you thinking you're above it all, and then like still put you somewhere that you're not putting yourself. It's just like, oh well, he seemed pretty nonplussed about this, so like, he just must not even care. It's just like,
I think on certain, like if you have any kind of platform, I think you are morally obligated to discuss certain things that are going on in the public atmosphere. Like, but at the end of the day, if it's something small that doesn't really involve you, like small drama that doesn't involve you, no one gives a fuck what you think about it. Like, you know, like I'll watch YouTube videos like, and I remember someone coming up to me and they're like, "Oh, did you see that documentary they did on Johnny Craig?" And I was like, "No." You were in it. And I'm like, okay.
Oh shit!
Wow, that's
like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, that's cool. It was like, am I going to watch it? No.
Did they interview you or just,
no, they didn't.
It was
just stock footage or some shit. I don't know. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, like social issues, I do feel like anyone with a platform should have the right to express their opinion on it, even if we disagree with it.
I feel like I think that's part of the reason why I had to leave my last band, or why I should say they kicked me out, because it was like I was getting more of a political activist type thing and just getting into that mindset. And they just didn't give fucks at all. And you know, and like I know at least one of the dudes in that band was ex-military, and he didn't like a lot of the shit that I would say about what the government's doing wrong, because they get like umbrellaed. They get like it's all the same. And so if I hate on this part of the country, I hate on everything. And you know, that can be a problem. And it's like, and that's the thing that sucks about it is a lot of that talk went on when I wasn't around. Nobody ever came up to me and said, "Hey, man, we're not a politics band. Stop talking about it." You know what I mean? Even it was just me talking about it in personal conversation. You know?
Well, yeah, because I mean, you know, not to diss that band, but they really didn't seem like the rock the boat kind of.
They were just trying to play these songs that were.
Yeah, sure, they were very open minded, and you'd know what they were thinking. But they were very.
I will say this though, like for me personally, any project that I've recently been a part of. Like the one thing, especially I guess having creative control, is also having the social voice in the band. And like one of the cool things that I did was me and my friends in the Villa, we released a split, and all of that money went towards Black Lives Matter.
Love it.
And like, you know, for me, it's just like not to discuss future plans, but we're in the talks of something else. And you know, the discussion so far for me is like everything we do that generates, you know, attention like that, I kind of want that money to go towards a social cause.
Hell yeah.
And like, so for me, like with Young Mountain, I think that's what I enjoy the most, is like knowing that, hey, you know, I have this voice in this band, and there's these social issues that, you know, not only that I feel this way about, but members of the band feel this way about, and we can say this, and you know, and at that point, that to me, that moral obligation, for lack of a better term, trumps the music.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's.
I hate that his last name is just fucking co-opted that word.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Jeez.
that word has been around forever, and
I know.
It's just demonize it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like I don't know, like.
But yeah, it wins. It's the thing. So. And that is big, and it's and yeah, we all have a place in this world. We have to fight, you know, a little. We have to talk a little bit about it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, do you really want? Do you like? I feel like this. Do I agree with rappers that don't speak about Black Lives Matter, like Lil Wayne and such? Like, do I agree with them?
It's like with Lil Wayne, he's not like just not talking about it. He's
like,
acting.
my life matters.
Yeah, like, of course, like, but the thing is, it's just like with someone like that, it's like, all right, all he cares about is money, and he's rich. Like, of course, he's not going to be. It's like, do you really think this dude is going to be, you know, socially conscious of what's going on around him?
It's like, no, he's been rich for the last decade.
He's been rich for most of his life. So
he went to jail and came out of jail and was still rich.
Yeah.
Which, as a black person, how the fuck do you do that? Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the same time, it's just like, dude, who goes and listens to Lil Wayne for political advice? Like, like, you know,
you listen to Lil Wayne so you can feel good about having to go to your fucking minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience there.
Yeah. That's to say, don't
listening to a Millie in my 89 Honda Accord, blown out speakers, going to sell pizza for $8 an hour.
Yeah,
that was me in 2007.
Damn.
I mean, literally last year, I remember like listening to fucking either that song or Santana by Joel Santana when I would drive to my assistant manager job at Bojangles, smoking a joint at like 5 a.m. and like just being like, yep. This is where my life's at right now.
That Cat Williams bit was every day I'm hustling. The guy working McDonald's, you know, grilling the burgers.
I'm sure that fucking
I've been that guy a million times, dude. Like,
but at the same time, it's respect though on that. Like at the end of the day, like I never understand these people who think certain jobs are below them. Like, because for me personally, I'm like, bro, if you out there hustling, you doing your thing, more props to you. Like, I respect that. Like. Yeah.
Personally, I don't want to sell drugs.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, that's right. That was like.
Well, I don't know. I mean, street pharmaceuticals seem very enticing to me.
Yeah, I mean, the money's good. I'm not saying this is all funded by drug dealing because it's not.
That's a lot of what like Tupac was talking about back in the day, though. He's like, I sold drugs to make money to feed my family. And I wish I didn't fucking have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But look at the community that, like, you have your Tupacs and your Biggies, which they came from. They had to. That was a survival thing.
It was like you make thousands of dollars in a week, or you go to McDonald's.
Yeah. And you make maybe like $200-300.
80s and 90s.
80s, probably 200.
You paid like $4 or $5 an hour back then, dude. Like that's fucking.
Hey, you worked for this check.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go drive away in my Porsche now.
Right. Yeah. And if you work really hard, I'll have a new Porsche next year.
Yeah, my brother actually, he wanted me to join him fucking because he's like an assistant manager at the McDonald's near our house, and he wanted me to like come work there part time with him. And I was just like, I don't know about that, but I'll hear him out. And
$25 an hour, you know.
Like I told him, I was like, if you guys give me $10 an hour, let me work part time. I'll fuck around in this McDonald's. I don't give a fuck. Like, and like, I get there and they're just like this was like probably the week or two after I'd colored my hair blue, and like I go in there and like they're like, okay, you need to shave your beard. And I'm like, I can do that. And it's like, you probably need to color your hair, you know, a different color. And I was just like, I just spent $100 on this hair. Like, no fucking way, dude.
That'd be the funniest thing is if you came in with yellow hair and then like try to make it look kind of like French fries.
That would be funny.
You'd come in with a little fry lock.
I mean, honestly, like when my hair was blonde before it was this color, it looked like fucking ramen noodles. But like, yeah, I was just straight up like, dude, that's if we can't fucking get past that, then I'm just not gonna do this.
I've literally thought about doing that to make content. Is like sneak in a little camera and just do job interviews for jobs I don't want or need. Just waste their time and say stupid shit to them.
It was such like it felt weirdly satisfying because I knew I didn't want the job, so the minute they were
for them to like immediately be bossing you around,
as soon as they like put something on the table of just like, here's what you gotta do, I'm like, we can't be flexible. It's like, nah, it's against the company policy. I'm like, all right, well, dude, I mean, hey, I'm great in the kitchen, but if y'all a bunch of bitches, then I'm out of here.
Damn.
I can't have blue hair under my McDonald's hat.
Yeah, right.
Forced to fucking wear. Like, shut up, dude.
Well, I guess this Happy Meal is not for me.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
it's like
fuck it.
I'll fucking go back home to fucking editing videos.
That's kind of the thing, man.
You know, making my government money.
Like food service jobs, I think, are some of the most respectable jobs you can have, and it's a fucking shame that there's like the lowest paid wages.
Dude, yeah. I mean, the last
I mean-
fucking job I worked at was like that. Was like that fucking sous chef job, and like, you know, again,
That's like a
if they
legit
could,
title in a real
yeah,
restaurant.
if they couldn't fucking like, they just didn't want to fucking pay the money.
I mean,
you
but
know, and
that's
it's just like.
But that's America, though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
look at a lot of the jobs that are the most critical for our country, like teachers, firefighters, like, you know, public servants like that.
Some
and,
thankless shit.
Yeah, and it's some thankless, like, they get paid. When you see how much they get paid, like, teachers still, bank like $30,000 a year? Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of insane that I make more money than that
Yeah.
doing my retail job.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why me and Xander kind of just are doing this. You know, we're fucking you make your own thing.
Trying
You know,
to.
you make
Trying
your
to.
own job. You know, yeah, we're trying to. Do
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
like,
don't get me wrong. I would love a goal of mine is just for any for working class music for it to be sustainable. Like
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love for it to get to that
yeah,
point.
it's like working with you on that. It's
Yeah.
just like, you know, if that gets off the ground,
One more
then
little
it's
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, well, then now I've got a job working with you.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like,
that was the idea behind getting into music in the first place. But
Yeah.
music industry's been fucking dying since
Yeah.
the
well,
90s.
yeah.
so,
I mean, the music industry has been dying, and then not only that, like this year with COVID, no label is signing anyone. No label signing in 1
which
year.
is crazy
The only-
because there was the only signing I do remember hearing about this year was from Fueled by Ramen, out of all people.
Great
and
name.
it
Love
was
the name.
You've never heard of them? They're
They're
people,
Paramore,
Yeah, they originally signed Paramore.
okay.
Fallout Boy.
Yeah,
Cool, okay.
They signed this band, Meet Me at the Altar,
Okay.
which is like this it's like his POC band and everything, and it was like a
Cool.
whole big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Well, I
Go
think
listen to Me
see
at the
things
Altar.
with that, like what people don't see on that end of the music industry is like everything in the music industry is slow to happen but fast to see. And what I mean by that is they probably were talking to Fuel by Ramen a few months before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then their
All these
contract got
negotiations,
finalized, and then a month later they were able to announce it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Month or
yeah.
and a month
Oh,
at the
yeah.
earliest. So I mean, in the music industry, I think right now.
I mean, that's
We're
kind of
living-
how it is with making these videos. It's
Yeah.
like it's like we shoot it, and it's like I might put out like a
Little
I might put
teaser.
out like a teaser or something, but it's like
I always
that's
post
literally
pictures of us working on
yeah,
the shit.
it's literally all I can do.
I mean-
because it's like fucking the next thing you're gonna see is it's gonna be done, but that's gonna be like down the fucking
Which is
road.
funny to me because it's like I was like, oh yeah, we should give ourselves a January 1st deadline, and just to launch the thing. And then I
Yeah.
was just like thinking about, I was like, fuck that, let's just launch it
Yeah,
this
like,
month.
let's
Like,
just fucking
let's
go.
do it.
That's
Let's
kinda
just
cool.
start doing
Yeah.
stuff because
I
it's
love
like. I don't know. For me, it was just like I was having a shit day at work, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Do I
Just
really
get
want to
the
keep?"
fuck out of there?
Yeah, I was like, "Do I
Oh
really want
my
to keep
God,
doing
I've
like?"
been there.
I was like,
had
because
that moment.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, the most fun that I've had creatively is filming these videos. Like, that's not to discredit like music or anything, but it's the most fun that I've had.
It's fun. It's laid
So I was-
back and it's good.
Yeah.
and so I was just like, man, I get to hang with good people. I get to create content, like not an OnlyFans though. I mean, if y'all want that,
Hey.
but but
Comment, subscribe. Let's
yeah.
know how we can
Well, yeah.
improve our service.
but it's just like if you can turn what you love into a job, like more power, more
dude,
power to
that's
you.
the goal for sure.
Yeah,
I love it.
Honestly, I mean, I'm glad you're having fun shooting these videos, these working class music, shows, these episodes. If people haven't caught on by now, Jason he's created a show that will be on YouTube. If it's not already, I don't know when you're listening.
No,
to
no,
this.
the channel. I shouldn't say. I've created the channel.
You've already
I just
made
haven't.
the channel.
Yeah, in
Okay.
the email and stuff. I just haven't put any content on there
Yeah.
because.
All right.
So,
me being me and working in the music industry, I'm just like, well, you have to release stuff this way.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's kind of smart though. You want to have some stuff ready.
So
to
yeah,
go,
be on the lookout for working class music.
Yeah.
because we're all working really hard on it.
Yeah, please
And-
like and subscribe to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're having fun shooting it because it's like the way that we shoot these things is kind of like how I wish I could have like shot my old shit, where it's like I'm sitting here fucking like getting up, sitting down, getting all around the place because it's just me and my
just
camera
doing
in my
it by
fucking
yourself.
room. Yeah, it's like
that's hard. Dude.
Yeah, and I'm like,
dude.
holy shit! Like we've given you a team to work with, and it's like, fuck, this is
Yeah,
actually
like,
gonna
it's
be
good to have
good.
support. You
Like,
know?
yeah, and that's the cool thing about it is just like it's what I wish I would have had in every band I've been in. Not to say that every band didn't have that, but it's like everybody sees the vision and everybody works towards that vision.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and,
yeah,
It's difficult
and-
to get there.
yeah, and it's just
Especially
like
because you play pretty creative music too.
yeah.
Everything I've ever done has been pretty straightforward rock shit. We're like, oh, you need chords, you need licks, cool, gotcha.
See, that's,
you know what
that's
I mean?
but
Like,
the thing is, I like what you do, and for me personally, like, I don't look at it that way. Like, for me, I'm just like, that's why I'm scared as fuck of like getting my ass handed to me in the comment section, like of these videos, like, oh, like he can't fucking play, like.
I can tell you now,
it'll happen. Don't worry.
it's gonna happen.
No, I know it's gonna happen.
and
Like,
it's gonna
You're
suck.
actually winning when it starts happening.
Yeah.
When the haters come, you know you're doing well.
it's like, yo, you keep hating.
Hold
leave.
on, that's not exactly fully accurate.
Just don't dislike us out of the world.
Because there is somebody, like, I don't know who the fuck it is, but literally every time we post on the gaming channel, there is, like, somebody that, like, within the day has to make sure they get that one dislike on the video.
That's
It's like-
beautiful.
Like, why?
I wonder if it's a Wubby fan.
I don't fucking know, dude.
See, I was
Fuck
pretty
that guy.
proud of myself though, because like with Young Mountain, we released a song back in the end of May, and for that video, it had no dislikes until I want to say recently. I went and checked, and there's just one dislike, and I was like, yeah, someone had to be that motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, dude. Fuck, I hate it when that happens.
yeah, I was
man.
like, oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I could see me like during my edgy teenage period, like if YouTube had been a thing back then, I could see me being that asshole. Like every song I even kind of didn't like, meh, fucking dislike.
Oh,
You know,
Jesus.
because I was such a dick about music back in the day.
Oh,
too.
you're one of those guys.
I was that guy who would tell you
Jeez.
your taste in music was wrong just because I'm dumb and I didn't understand how it worked. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, yeah, you like Slipknot? Have you ever heard of some black metal
See,
band from the 70s? That
I
nobody's ever heard?
kind of am that way, still somewhat like.
You gotta like what you like, and you
Yeah.
want to tell people about what you like. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And-
I mean, but at the same time, though, I mean, music is subjective, and it's
Yeah.
just like to me, like there are certain bands, and I'm just like, oh, cool, you like, and this is old Norma Jean. I'm like, oh, you like Norma Jean?
Ah.
I was like, oh, I like Baby Botch too. So
Ooh, that's a deep cut right
yeah,
there.
it was like, I mean, they're
I mean-
basically low key Botch, like.
Yeah.
I don't know who any of these guys are.
But no, but
my
like
music
that's
taste is a mess.
My only just because you said Norma Jean, that was one that I would go hard on because all of my fucking friends who were into like satanic death metal liked them for some reason. Just like, first of
Which-
all, not very good. Second of all, Christians, guys, what are you doing?
which is funny because the current lead singer
Like them.
turned out to be like some kind of racist.
Oh, good.
He said some shady shit like a few months ago, and like
Always happens, dude.
Yeah, and it's just
Always
like, man,
fucking
it's just like, man,
happens.
this scene is just like, man, this scene is fucked. Like,
Well,
but
Christianity and white supremacy kind of go hand in hand.
They
Kinda,
really
yeah.
do.
It
though.
does.
Like, oh man, dude.
which is scary to think about.
That's kind of my pet issue is Christianity and their impact on culture, and yeah, it's really weird, man.
What'd you think about the Chariot?
Oh, I thought the Chariot was awesome.
Pretty cool.
I thought the Chariot was. I'm glad that Josh Coggins did that band because I was just like, man, to me they seem like they seemed like a sincere effort in the music that was coming out at the time, and like where everything was just kind of like, oh, we're going to be Under Oath 2.0 or this version. They seem like their own entity.
Yeah.
And
Oh, they definitely were.
yeah, and it was just like you know the Chariot when you see them, and it's just like they felt authentic, and that's
Yeah.
what I like.
You know, if you see a bass coming at you, fucking duck.
Yeah, I mean, because like, don't get me wrong, like, I mean, I was a part of that scene, and like, I totally get
Well,
it.
like out in Douglasville and shit.
Oh no, just like this is when I was in like the Florida, this whole region, and it's just like, you know, but at the same time, it's like for me again, I was always about the music comes first,
Yeah.
and like there are bands that you would see doing that kind of music, and you would see them for what they are, and it's just like, all right, this shit's fake, like cool, like, but if people like it, more power to them. If they get something out of it, more power to them.
I mean,
But-
that's kind of where I've grown to respect like a band like Callous Cowboys. Like at first, I just kind of wrote them off as just another like gimmick band.
But they kind of rock.
Yeah,
though.
no, it's like they've put it all.
I will say this: they are one of the most sincere bands that I've heard, and like they are their art, and like especially after working with Carson and getting to know him a bit more, like
that dude. Yeah.
I will say that he like. And I say like there's a couple things I will say.
I got no beef with Carson.
I will say this. This is one dude who is literally
trying to get buried. I got no.
But Carson is a dude that's literally about his art, and that's something that I respect.
I always got
and
that
like
vibe from that kid. And
then there's Whitney who got mad props to me because like it's one thing to be about, because here's the thing, and I hate to say this as a person of color, there are white allies when things start popping who I feel will do things for status, for like to be hyped, but they're not about that life. But Whitney, she was about that life. Like I remember the protest I went to, she was there. She was front row with the sign. So like that band I will always respect. Much love in it. Like they are about that life, and they put on a great live show.
And they're a good follow on Facebook.
Yeah.
They're just fun to talk to.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there are definitely bands in this music scene, and that I feel like, okay, I get it. You think you're God's gift to everybody, and
it's hard not to feel like that when you get a good couple shows in. You're like on that high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
at the same time, you gotta stay humble, especially.
No, you do. You should stay humble, but at the same time, it's just like, you got to realize there's always going to be somebody bigger than you. And one piece of advice that my former music manager, and he gave us is that you're never going to be bigger than the band you sound like. So
that's good.
Yeah, and it's just like not to say that he was like 100% right, but he was right on that. Like so if you get pigeonholed and you're for us in that era, like with Native Sons, we got compared to natives. We got compared to Circus Survive, and I
can see that.
So it's just like he told us that. So on our last effort, we intentionally tried to go away from that, and but that's advice that has stuck with me. It's just like, you're never going to be bigger than the band you sound like, and I'm like, well, shit. Well, I want to sound like all these other bands that are big. It's like, if I'm never going to be bigger than Radiohead, I can be okay with that. It's like, as long as I'm in that same conversation, then if I'm never going to be bigger than the Smashing Pumpkins, I can be okay with that. Like,
that's kind of the thing, right? Is like, it should be big enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. But yeah, it's like, if it was easier to just like go out and play shows, then it wouldn't matter if the band who I sounded like was killing it, because that's like Black Sabbath. Like, fine, they invented heavy metal. They deserve to be killing it.
That's the thing. Going out and playing shows, I hate to be that guy, but like, I mean, mainly because I think I got burned out on it.
Me too.
Like, fucking Holders, we were playing fucking as much as we could, because like, in my head, we didn't have, it's like people respected us, but I didn't think people respected us. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, I don't even know what was going on with me, but it was just like, I knew we were doing something, and so we were fucking getting after it, and like,
well, it's
just after a while, I just got so fucking tired.
Well, I understand that feeling, because for me, there's two different perspectives. In the past, I used to love touring. It was quite the challenge, especially being unsigned, and then if you were signed, still quite the challenge. And there's different tiers of touring, and then the one that I love the most was when I was working with Select Start, and we were on tour with Mayday Parade, and like, I know those dudes before that, so there's just like, okay, I'm getting paid, and I'm on tour, and we're in this bus, and different things like that. So it's like, oh, this is awesome. This is the good side of it. And then, there's like, oh, we're in this van and trailer, we're not getting paid. Like, I'm going to go home in debt.
Sorry.
But I'm going to go home in debt. And that's what the part was to me that wasn't as appealing, as I tell this story to the cameras now. So to me, it's just like, I don't know, that's the part that it sucks because I admit it sounds kind of bougie, but that's the part that I'm just like, yeah, y'all can miss me with that because, like, yo, I'm used to making money, like, you know, and I understand that you need to put in work before you see the money, but at this point, you know, I don't want to come home depressed because I'm broke as shit, and it's just like, well, and then, you know, on the off chance of maybe we'll...
Yeah, the last band I was in was a lot of that type of stuff, too, because it was like, we were practicing a lot, and they lived pretty far away from where I worked and where I lived, so I'm putting a lot of money into gas. I'm putting a lot of hours into learning their songs, you know. And as like the guy who comes in when they've got a couple albums already, it's like that's studying pretty hard, you know. And then we start playing shows like 5 days a week, and I'm doing all that driving, and we're going out of state to play a pizza shop to the people who work at the pizza shop. And this is, you know, like
see, yeah, that's the thing. I was getting tired of coming home, like you know, I had money at the time, but I was just getting kind of burnt out because I was like,
and it's not
the
about,
ends, they're not meeting,
like,
you know?
whether you have it or not, like whether you've got money from your job or whatever. It's like if you're spending all this time and energy and effort and not getting anything back, all you're getting out of it is playing a show to nobody who they don't care. And I think the big problem with that too is like if you get oversaturated. I think the scene we were in was kind of in the middle of that, where it was like so many shows every week where a lot of the fans were just like, I'll just go to the next one. Yeah, there's no urgency, you know what I mean? If it's like, if you're an everyday thing,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We were playing like maybe like 2-3 times a month, and like,
see, that's a little more spaced out. That's a lot better. But several times a week is
that's the thing for me, because like in the whole Native Sons era, I was like 110% about it, and I was like, okay, you know, we need to play as many shows, we need to do this, because for me, I was just coming out of a band that was a much bigger band and sign, and not to toot my own horn because I don't want to go there.
Hey, dude,
but
you got it though.
But
you did that.
I did. Yeah, but like I was just coming out of a situation where I was like, okay, this is, you know, that's the level that's the level I need to be on at the smallest.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, okay, so things can start feeling a bit more fulfilled. So, you know, after that, I was just like, after the whole experience, I was just like, all right, well, I still want to play music. And then, like, even with Young Mountain, like, I told them straight up, I was like, yeah, we're not touring. I was like, we'll play festivals. I was like, you know, because, you know, I was like, you know, we still have, between us, we still have the connections to do that.
Yeah, but like fucking no need to go up and down the road.
Like,
all this shit.
Don't set up a tour unless you've got some fucking demand.
Yeah.
See,
you know,
that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like I'm down to still like play shows every now and again.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like I've still got enough material to like, you know, bust out a gig, you know, every now and again, but it's like just the fucking grind. I'm not getting back into that. like I got fucking all this fucking YouTube shit. Like that's the fucking grind that I'm on. And
frankly,
like,
that's the future, dude.
I mean,
that is the future.
And like the burnout from that is so much easier than the burnout from like going out and playing shows, because it's like with that I receive, you know, all that shit and, you know, the dopamine and everything from sitting at my desk, you know, from being at home. I'm not fucking, you know,
less energy invested.
You know, not driving out there fucking lugging shit into a building and, you know, all this shit.
See, and that's the thing. People often ask, like, well, you know, is that the end goal? And like, you know, for some people it is the end goal. Some people it isn't. Like for me, with a bunch of the solo stuff, I'm just like, this is just me releasing music just to release music. 'Cause I love doing it. Yeah. And I was like, but I also want to do it in the right way, quote unquote. And, you know, do like a music video and stuff, because it's like those are things that I love doing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but at the same time, it's just like, would I ever tour behind it? Fuck no. Like, not unless I'm getting paid. I was like, nah.
I forget the name of the band, but there's a group from like the stoner doom scene that I'm into that started that way, where it was just a guy did a solo project, and it was so fucking good that like he was getting people from bands that he likes being like, hey, do you need a drummer? Do you need a bass player? And they ended up like peer pressuring him into going on tour, because they're like, you made a great album and you're gonna be playing with all of our other bands, and so he actually got into a pretty cool career basically accidentally. Just by
like that's the thing. If it accidentally happens, I'm all for it.
I mean, yeah. Also, what's cool right now is that like with music, when you're putting out music, you really don't even have to worry about touring with it. Like you can
not
just
anymore.
Like, 'cause, yeah,
It's the
nobody's
21st
fucking
century.
going. No, nobody's not going anywhere.
It's COVID.
It's
no one's
like-
going to these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, look at someone like Post Malone. He literally put out White Iverson, I think, and like before that, like whatever his first single was, he literally just put it on SoundCloud, and the next day he woke up, he was huge.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
so it's just
amazing.
like, you know,
Fucking
that's
life lottery.
yeah, that's the
yeah,
age
that's
we
the
live
thing.
in.
That's what you never know with like all these fucking videos that we make. Like which one's gonna fucking strike a nerve with
One of
somebody.
these might hit eventually.
Yeah, dude. And like I've had a couple of videos that get the attention of like the person they're about, and like, you know, I have to deal with that. And I'm like, well, I didn't even think we would be in the same fucking frequency, let alone you watch my video about you. Because if somebody made a video about me, I probably wouldn't watch it.
And
You know, just because I'm just like, nah, it's probably not good.
See,
you know, like, I'm just gonna not.
But it's kind of like that way with music, because I mean, for me, one secret, because I've always been anything that I write or that I'm a leading force in, like even or is inspired by, is usually by people in my life.
Yeah.
So or situations. So it's always funny to me when some of them aren't so blatant, and there's what I mean by it's funny is when some people either assume that it's about them. I'm like, nah, dog, that ain't about you. Or
yeah,
like
that's funny.
or like
can be weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure, because I remember sending one of my exes like this song that I was working on, and the title of it was like Lovers or whatnot, and she thought it was about she low-key insinuated that it was about her, and I was like, nah, that's not about you. I was like, that's just a character I made up. Like,
yeah.
I was like the person who realized that it's about is loosely based on.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
see,
funny.
I
That's
always
pretty funny.
thought that I was fucking crazy for shit like that, because it's like I'd like write songs and I'd like write music that like seemed like they were about somebody, like, you know, and so it's like if somebody around that time thought they fit that position, they think it's about them, and it's like, dude, you know how much shit that I've fucking
I've
dealt
lived
with
an actual life. You know,
fucking-
Yeah.
you were a part of it.
Yeah, it's
but
like this is some shit that I'm just pulling out from like 8 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this has nothing to do with you or anything.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of, and I don't write a lot of lyrics, but when I do, I keep it super vague. And use metaphors.
But that's the thing. Even
Don't
if
say
you do
say
keep it-
girls, say like wizard. You know,
You keep it
say
vague.
dragon.
If you keep it vague, that's a bigger window
Yeah,
for people to
yeah.
like be
And
like.
then
"Oh,
everyone
but that
else-
was,
this
is that about me?
I got it from an interview with what's Chino, the singer.
Oh,
from
the Deftones, yeah.
Oh.
He's like, just keep it vague, keep it weird. Everyone's gonna make their own assumptions about what it means.
Well, all right, you
Don't tell them it means
Tell
anything.
me about one thing that any Deftones song is about.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Actually, Digital Bath is about a dream that he had where he was where he was murdering the girl in that dream, I believe.
Wow.
I know with Teenager, that was about like a first date where he was just where he was driving.
Sure.
Like some of the songs I like.
Yeah,
some of the
it
songs.
has to come from somewhere
Yeah.
in him, but then it says, "Don't worry what it means to me. What
Yeah.
does it mean to you?" And I think
Yeah,
that really
and a
is
lot of
cool way to do
the
it.
songs for a good part with Chino is like they're not about anything personal.
Right.
Like I mean which is funny because then there's a song like "Hole in the Earth," which is
Oh
like.
man, that's a banger right there.
You know it is, but it's about how him and the band were not getting along at the time.
yeah.
And it's just like it's kind of cool to me seeing music create that
And
because
then you've got
song
like
on the
Fleetwood
on the
Mac, where all the songs are about the other people in the band.
yeah,
Dude, oh my god. Anytime anybody brings up Fleetwood Mac, like I just get like such a twinge in my spine because
Yeah.
it's just like I can't even fucking imagine being in that position where like everybody's fucking everybody, everybody's mad at everybody.
Everyone's doing a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, everybody's coked the fuck up. And like we're just going around fucking writing songs about each other while we're doing all this
Yeah.
fucked up shit. Like did you ever watch the show Skins?
no,
Okay, well
neither.
it's don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
It's no Dragon Ball Z, but
It's no
dope.
Dragon Ball Z. I'll tell you that.
Not exactly a fooly cooly.
You know, yeah, not, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, it's exactly an Evangelion. You know, not even an Outlaw Star, if you will.
It's no Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Getting
no.
deep now,
It's,
dude. Outlaw Star. I haven't heard that in years. That's awesome.
It's no Samurai Pizza Cat.
No, oh boy, oh boy, is
the
it?
money.
It's no Bo. Certainly couldn't hold a candle to a Zatch Bell or a Bakugan or a Yu Yu Hakusho, if you will.
Yeah.
If I could be so, excuse my candor. What were we talking
It's one of
about?
the few jokes that got funnier the longer we beat it up. That was fucking awesome.
I was thinking for a little
Like Ron Mahat.
Yeah, it's no
That's
Mighty
the Ron
Max.
Mahat? Yeah.
No, there's
It's no Mighty Max.
no One
but, you know,
Piece.
yeah, it's, no,
Tenchi Muyo to be
it's no Ninja Scroll.
pretty bad 90s.
okay. Let's.
right.
But yeah, it's fuck. What was I talking about?
Skins. And that had something to do with
Where was I at before that?
Deftones.
Oh, what? No, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood
Yeah.
Mac. there we
Yeah,
go.
it's just like Skins was like this British like teen drama. Like, okay, so the show Euphoria now I feel like is like a modernized version of Skins. I've only
Okay.
watched like one episode of it, but it's just like it's just drugged up teenagers and all the drama that comes with that, you know.
It's fantastic.
And so I'm just like Fleetwood Mac just seems like, especially being on the road, like with each other,
yeah.
fucking.
Where just like snorting blows started messing up her nose. She started having it put up her butt, and like that's cute. That's fucking hot.
What?
Yeah, they would load a straw up with it and like air darted into her.
No.
White
I
people.
like drugs. I don't like drugs anywhere near that much,
It's like
dude.
fucking blood cocoa.
Like,
White people.
Like, can't you make tea out of it or
like
something?
I don't even really like the fact that
It's
I
like,
have to,
hey, I'm not even going to ingest this. Just blow it up my asshole.
yeah, like I don't like that I have to pull out the blowtorch when I'm doing dabs. 'cause
Right,
It's
yeah,
just
it's
like
just too heavy
It's like
duty.
this is industrial equipment for me
Yeah.
to do my drugs with, but it's like, yeah, like, oh my god, my nose is collapsed in on itself from drug use. Let me put it in my ass.
Like,
I'm going to take this coat some kind of goddamn way.
This coke is getting inside me. God
wanna-
damn it.
I want to click back a little bit though, because Deftones, man, they're like the only rap rock band who is still awesome.
I wouldn't call Deftones rap rock.
Well, they like used to
They-
play
they're-
local
they're
shows
like
with
new
Korn.
metal, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them.
I
like,
wouldn't even
rap
call them new metal.
But that's kind of the thing.
Really?
They came up like explicitly in that scene, and
If
then
you've been-
as soon as Limp Bizkit started blowing up, they were like, "No, you guys go on tour."
No, if there's a
We
Dragon
don't wanna
Ball Z
open for you
AMV,
guys.
if there's a Dragon Ball Z AMV with your music, you're new metal.
No.
I don't make the rules. That's just how it goes.
Because I can pull up some bands that have some AMVs. You're like, yeah, they're not new metal.
Oh well, yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying,
here's
you
the
know
thing.
what time period I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but even then, like the closest they came to new metal was Back to School, and that was
Yeah.
because of their label, not because of them.
And I'd add to that.
My
that
Own Summer is
it's
a
like
banger.
when I personally think of like new metal, I feel like those are the copycat bands of
Yeah.
the Korn and Cold Chamber era. Where like Trapped is a great
yeah.
example.
or
'cause-
crossfade,
Like
crossfade.
Like because
Or,
you have the taperings of like a DJ scratching
Uh-huh.
or whatnot. And Frank, I would say, is all the one thing I say about Frank. He's always add atmosphere and texture. You've never heard like scratching in a
No,
Deftones
I love
song.
the way he does that
Yeah.
shit. Like I totally hated turntables in rock music until
So
I
you
realized
were you not a
what he
fan
was
of
doing.
Incubus?
No,
No. Oh
No.
wow. All right.
no, I liked
I
Limp
like it.
Bizkit.
Yeah,
I like Incubus.
No,
And then-
I liked the first two Limp Bizkit albums because it was so weird from anything I had heard before. But I was also 10. You know,
I mean, yeah.
So-
I mean, musically, Limp Bizkit, as much as I may hate on you metal, like musically they were tight. Like,
Yeah.
I like musically they were impressive. It's just Fred Durst.
Yeah.
but
For the
yeah.
nookie.
yeah.
I read an interview with their old guitar player the other day, Wes Borland, and just talking about how like he had all his money invested the way the record company told him to in like these high risk stocks.
Jesus.
And like they're like, well, we lost $10 million this year, but you're just gonna go on tour next year, and then we'll invest it again, and you'll make it all back. It doesn't matter. And that like they're like, you're gonna go on tour, you'll make $5 million in about 6 months. Yeah, and he said, no, fuck it, I quit. What? And he had like just lost all his money and just like
Oh,
he
man.
went from being the guy in the Bizkit to just just
And they went on without him, and they sucked ass.
and they eventually brought him back.
They brought him back.
So now he's like, yeah, I play a few shows a year. I'm pretty comfortable now, but it's like just a really interesting
I would
thing.
love to make $5 million in 6 months.
Me too. I would do almost anything.
Like,
Like literally, I would do.
like no, if somebody legit like put like a time gap or like a time period on the whole YouTube thing, it was just like, if you make this amount of quality videos, you know,
Oh my god.
in like 2 months, I will give you $10,000.
Oh my god, dude, we'd be up 24/7.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep more than I already don't. You know, and it's like, because it's like, I mean, yeah, because it's like, you see how I get after it for free. You know, it's like, fucking put some money in front of me.
dangle a nice juicy carrot.
It's like, baby, we're in business, all right?
Yeah.
Let me call my guy.
But yeah, that's.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I think, especially bringing it back to the new metal era, to bring back that piece, I think a lot of those bands made a shit ton of money and invested it horribly. But
Yeah.
But I
late
wouldn't.
'90s, right
Yeah.
before the bubble burst.
But I mean, there are some bands who make, like, right now, a lot of their money off of residuals, and like as much shit as we may talk about trap, I'm pretty sure
that Get Strong song.
yeah, that song.
It's
I'm
strong.
pretty sure
God.
we know which song.
I listened
love
to
the
that
fucking.
the other day.
I feel like we've riffed on the MAGA drama with that band again recently, but it's just so funny
Yeah.
to bring that up. Just like he was talking shit on the other band. They're like, actually, our.
You said the other band was Dance
Yeah,
Gavin
it was
Dance.
Dance Gavin Dance.
That's
Yeah, okay, it was literally last time you were
hilarious.
here.
You don't come for Dance Gavin Dance, all right? People,
Nah.
people take.
Especially not if you're trapped.
Yeah,
Like-
like there's gonna be a lot of angry like Twitter stands that are not gonna let you fuck with. All right, don't come at Tillian like that. How dare you?
Yeah.
All right, how dare you?
I mean, they have a whole genre invented after them Swancore, so you
Is
should
that what
probably
it's called?
Yeah, so you should
That's fucking
probably not fuck with them.
What a cool
man.
name.
But like,
that.
I mean, honestly, I think a lot of bands are just in the situation now where they don't. A lot of bands that are making a crap ton of money don't have to
Swancore.
tour a lot. Like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, one of the bands, if you look at they may do like one international tour when a record drops, but the rest is just like festival stuff, and that's Death
Yeah.
Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Dude, yeah, a friend of mine saw them like in a theater, and she was just like, "Is this how people listen to Death Cab now?" Like, it's
Oh,
just like
dude.
sitting in like
I've been
theater.
at shows like that before, or like I've been at a Megadeth show that was like
That's
that.
so
see,
weird, dude.
depending on what show she was at, I was at that show.
It was at the Fox. I
yeah,
think.
if it was a few years
funny.
ago.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago. Yeah, and like, like the pictures that she sent me, I was just like,
Yeah, going to the Fox for a rock show is bizarre, dude. And that's
Yeah.
funny. I actually saw Deftones there one time, and they at least had the seats up, like it was all
but,
walking
like,
space.
This
you know?
was like, it was like you were going to see like a theater show.
See, I would say though that show was still one of the best shows I've seen in my
Yeah.
life. Like from being there, like put it like this. There was a reason why that band is huge, and in terms,
yeah,
and like they put on a damn good show. Like I was pleasantly surprised.
They're
Like
another
I was,
band where I don't like really listening to them, but I respect the talent in there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, you know, they're
it's good
fucking
stuff.
badasses for sure.
I mean, that's how Tom York was when I saw him, like
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
solo tour. Like it was at the Fox, and we were just sitting, everybody's sitting down.
Wait.
But it's just like
What band is he from?
Radiohead.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Keep up, Jesus.
But it was just like, all right, well, cool. And I mean, but at the same time, it's funny because I saw the National at the Roxy, and you're like, man, isn't this kind of reverse? Shouldn't this be the band that like people are sitting down for? Like,
I actually have never listened to the National.
I love the National. Their music is really good, but it's also like a lot of other things I listen to, very depressing. So
Yeah, it's like the National, I feel like, are that band that I feel like every white dude I know that's like 25 or older definitely listens to them.
I think that's an accurate-
I've just
I mean, I'm not white, but
never gotten around to it.
no, I think they're brilliant. Like I think the National is like I think their music is super brilliant, and like I don't know, because I think this era of rock is very different. I think this era of rock was supposed to be what is, and I hate to say it, this era of rock, like with the National, Arcade Fire, Bon Iver, if you want to call
Would
them
you
that.
call that?
I would, but I wouldn't call it like I wouldn't call it anything more than like indie or alternative. Like,
yeah, because it's
But-
like there was the whole like post-punk thing with like Title Fight and like Joyce Manor and all those like super dope bands, and I thought that was gonna be the next wave, and it kind of was for a while.
It was, and then
just
it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I mean,
one of
they're all
those-
still good, but most of them just like I think Title Fight broke up.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know Balancing and Composure broke up.
Yep,
Turnover's still around, but
Citizen, all of
Citizen's
them.
still around. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I thought that era was going to be a lot bigger than what it was, but
yeah.
I think the problem was they're using, and this is just one guy's opinion. My opinion is worth shit on this, but I think a lot of these bands haven't adapted to the era of hip hop and YouTube, and we're too late to jump on that, and we're using the traditional methods.
That's
which,
big.
don't get me wrong, you should tour your ass off.
Yeah.
But and you should develop a hype behind you. But you notice a lot of the hip hop artists were just releasing singles
Well, that's why
or
like
mixtapes.
SoundCloud rapper became
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
thing because it was like you could just get that one hit and be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah.
See, again, that's why I fucking love doing YouTube videos
Yeah.
because it's like literally I could just fucking, you make a video and you just wake up that day and you put it out, like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you can like post teasers and shit like that, but it's like you just
And
fucking
And that's
It
funny
is.
because, like, for me with that mindset, like, I personally was like, oh, well, I remember with Culture Cough, like, we were talking about our potential releases, and one of the members wanted to do a full length, and I was like, I don't really think that's cool right now. And we went back and forth on it.
how many
and
members is in that band?
6 total.
Okay.
But
Talk about band politics. Jeez.
yeah. Oh, that's a different discussion. But I'm not gonna say anything about that. But
Don't air your laundry.
No. But it's just funny to me because it's like I was like, hey, let's adapt to like the singles mindset and like or put out an EP because a lot of you need to know your audience, and like right now most people, unless you are a nostalgia act of some kind, and even then most people aren't listening to albums.
No.
Like
Yeah.
they're listening to singles and EPs.
You kind of already have to have a reputation to be like the concept album band. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Like, I mean, Smashing Pumpkins just dropped another double album, and honestly, I listened to half of it, and I was just like, this isn't bad, but
Why?
it's
yeah,
like,
like what's
Yeah, what's-
What's that? Who's that for?
yeah, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is, and I believe, for me, I was like, this record is like for the hardcore album enthusiasts, and I was like, but even then, there's so many albums I can take. I forget which album it was. I want to say it was Radiohead's last album. That was like 8 songs.
Okay.
And I was just like, all right, this is perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing. I've been listening to a lot more vinyl, and like those albums, like that was back when shit was shorter. You got like,
Yeah.
4 songs on one side, at most 4 songs on the other
I
side.
feel like the ritual of listening to a record makes the album more digestible.
It
'Cause
does.
You're putting
but,
it
like,
on, you're flipping it over halfway through.
but
you know what I
also,
mean?
the length of it, it keeps you kinetic. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
it's
about
like
45 minutes total. right?
yeah,
It's
you
like,
get
yeah.
one side done, you got to get up. You got to go put other side on.
That also,
like,
when you look into it, that's also dependent on the era of that band. Because I mean, you look at the 70s, and let's take like a Pink Floyd. They were putting out quality music every goddamn album, whether and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, bands in that era, like even the
And
Temptations.
they were designed to be listened
Yeah.
to all in one
Yeah.
sit down. 'Cause
Yeah.
you knew you were getting home, rolling a
Exactly.
joint, and fucking sitting on your
But I
bed.
think the era we got into was oversaturation and a ton of profit from the CD format. So it's just like, all right, I'm going to give you an album of like 18 tracks, but only like 4 of them are going to be amazing.
Yep, that's a lot of what happened. That's a lot of what happened.
There's like a cliche story that like a lot of people tell about this phenomenon. I'm trying to remember the band and the song.
It was Sugar Ray.
Not Sugar Ray, but
It was
close.
Sugar
It was,
Ray.
it was an 80s hair band who they had a ton of shit, and then they did a song. It was one of those things where the record company was like, we need some kind of love song. We need something that's about girls on the
Dude,
record.
it's Sugar Ray.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Sugar
Was it
Ray.
like Poison or Warrant
I want to say it was
or
Warrant.
or Rat?
Fuck.
Wasn't Warrant the people that made that song "I Fuck Like a Beast"?
Yeah, it was something stupid.
No, Cherry
it was
Pie.
Cherry Pie. That's the
Yeah.
song. That's the song. He wrote Cherry Pie on a pizza box in about 5 minutes, and his whole life became defined by Cherry Pie. And it's like his
I hate
biggest
that
regret
song.
in his life. He's like, I wrote songs that I really cared about. I wrote songs that really meant something to me. Cherry fucking pie. She's my cherry pie. Like, he's like doomed. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
get it? It's about vaginas.
But dude, like,
did you know?
But dude, like,
did you know the song's
Well, no,
about
I mean-
pussy, Jason?
I did not know that. I thought it was about cherry pies. Damn
No,
it!
it's about pussy. That's what that song is about.
man loved dessert.
Yeah, I just thought it was dessert.
It's,
But I mean, I remember actually bringing back the Smashing
check
Pumpkins.
that
A few years ago, I went to the meet and greet with Billy Corgan, and I forgot what the question was that somebody asked him, but he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that's known for like 1979. Like we're gonna," he's like, we'll play it, but like I don't want that to be like the only thing that he's like, and he was relating to why he keeps creating new music,
Yeah.
and why he why they don't want to be seen as a nostalgia act. And he's like, I don't, and I get that because it's just like, for me, I'm like, well, they were one of the bands, like, I think the 90s were the last era of bands that were like, well, no, let's say early 2000s as well.
yeah.
Because the 90s took a while to die.
Yeah, it took a while to die, but it's like, you look at it, like, you look at the Smashing Pumpkins, you look at Deftones, hell, you look at Korn,
You look at Foo Fighters.
you
They're
look
still-
at
yeah.
Incubus, you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah.
any of these bands, like, their albums that are like,
Yeah, the
they're doing
last-
20 years on are really fucking
The
good.
last couple Foo Fighters albums have been like pretty solid.
I have,
like
I have a lot of love and respect for Dave Grohl.
yeah.
No, Dave Grohl is fucking awesome. And
Like, I always feel like somebody's dad when I'm like just listening through like a Foo Fighters album, but at the same time I'm like, I don't care, this kicks ass.
No, and that's-
you know?
that's-
like
That's real.
it's-
But that's how you should though, because like there's bands that I love like Slow Dive, Radiohead, This Will Destroy You, like all their albums. Not like being a fan aside.
It's about like, I mean, it's about fucking, you change over time.
Yeah.
Because Foo Fighters isn't still playing, Learn to Fly type shit.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they're going heavier and heavier the longer
Yeah,
they
they're
go.
getting grindier, more grungy like they used to be.
Exactly.
It's kind of cute. I love it.
It's just like, man.
It's kind of like there was an era when like Deftones was just lumped in with like they called them rap rock because there's that one part in 7 words where he raps a little bit.
Yeah.
But they just kept going and they.
But
never
it's funny
stopped,
because like with
you know?
Deftones, in my opinion, their shoegaze influence got more that shoegaze Chino influence got heavier and heavier until Saturday Night Wrist,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it died back down for Diamond Eyes, but it came back up with Corey No Yokin.
And that freedom is kind of like that's the coolest thing about music.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I've always kind of hated genre in general. A lot of bands I like are kind of punk and kind of metal, or they bend the rules in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when a band comes up to me and says, "Oh yeah, we're like a pop punk band, or we're like an '80s thrash band," like we basically sound like Slayer and Metallica. It's like. Why
never be
would
as big. You'll
why
never
would
be
I
as
go
big
to
as
your
them.
show? Why would I listen to your band?
Yeah.
What's the,
See, it's funny to me because I'm always like, okay, you have to put on an interesting show. Like there's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
couple of bands and a couple of artists like NF, that rapper, like that I think is a Christian rapper of all people.
Interesting.
I remember going to the show with my friend Turner, and I remember I was like, damn, this dude puts on a hell of a live show. Like, I was like,
Did he bring hooch?
no. All I know is he had this drummer in a cage and this like
Sorry.
this.
You just made a Tom Hanks movie reference from like 1984.
Swish.
But no, I think honestly it just depends on like I don't know, like because the Deftones have always been, to me, they've always been one of those bands that have stood apart no matter what they're compared to.
Yeah.
And another band like that is System of a Down, like where they were constantly compared to like rap rock, and it's just like. Nah, that was like the closest they may come is Rage,
If
but
anything, they were the best new metal band.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
I mean? Like that's fucking.
Yeah.
well, no, I still think Deftones.
Politics
And I will say,
aside,
like this, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I would probably say the best new metal band that actually transcended that genre was Linkin Park.
But they defined it. They
Defined it, but they weren't defined by it.
True.
Because it's like you look at their records, it's like, all right, the first two had taperings of new metal, and they're like, all right, well, Minutes to Midnight, we got to change our sound, and they changed their sound, and it's just like they've consistently changed their sound, and at the end of the day, some people may have looked at it, because I remember when One More Light came out, I was like, all right, this shit's poppy as fuck. Like,
yeah, that was down with like Shadow of a Day and everything.
well, no, it was the album with Heavy.
Okay.
And I was like,
okay.
this is poppy as shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, yo, if that's what they want to do, more power to them.
I
Like,
mean,
gotta sell the
yeah,
records,
and
man.
people
Gotta pay the
shit
rent.
all over it, dude. And you know,
I've been a big Linkin Park guy.
I've
myself.
always been.
I've been a huge
Yeah,
Linkin Park fan.
it's
I bought
funny-
the first record, their Hybrid Theory, and I ended up like trading it to a girl I went to school with for Mountain Dew.
It's funny. Have you heard the newest Bring Me the Horizon album?
Yeah.
It sounds like early Linkin Park,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
fascinating.
fucking great,
That's
dude.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, again, like Deftones, which I would know, I can't say it because I was going to say with Deftones, Linkin Park, there are bands that have yet to do that sound as good or better. But I can't say that with Deftones because Loathe just dropped at the beginning of the year. Loathe dropped a fucking banger, and I was like,
dude, that Deftones album is pretty good.
I was like, bro,
The
dude.
new Deftones.
No, I'm saying like the band Loathe. Like
Oh.
I
they're
thought you meant
very
the new
influenced
Deftones
by.
album.
No, they're very influenced by Deftones.
I'll check that out. The new Deftones singles
No.
have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
that's-
Deftones album, the new album is amazing. Like,
That's what
put it like
you're
this,
talking
it was
about.
the pickup from Gore that I needed because, as I've stated many times, I was not a fan of that record.
Well, damn.
Yeah,
we just killed it in
I
like
think
more than an
we're,
hour just talking about rock
We're
music.
about out of time, folks.
Can I just say how much I like this? Like last one, we just talked about PlayStation the whole time.
Yeah.
This time we talked about music the whole time. It's like the election is over. Shit feels good.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I was listening to fucking-
back, baby.
I was listening to
God.
"Freedom" by Rage Against the Machine over here, like on the drive over here. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is probably kind of crazy right now.
I was just listening to Born in the USA. I was like,
Were you really?
yeah, I was listening to Born in the USA.
my dad's one of those Bruce Springsteen guys.
Isn't it the album where it's just his ass?
It's just
Yep.
his ass.
Yeah.
Because he's the fucking boss.
He's the boss.
That
Hey,
was
you want to
good
know
in
what?
jeans.
Is that camera still on?
It was last time I checked.
Well, can you make sure so I don't do a closing to no camera? Because that'll be embarrassing as hell. I'll look like a fool. Is it on?
It's been stopped. What?
We'll restart it.
It's movie recording has been stopped at name.
Just restart it, man.
Which is the button?
The red one.
Red.
The red button. There's a.
There it is. It's like in the shadows. All right, cool.
All right. So yeah, you're the boss. Jason's the boss. Look at that. Xander's back. He's the boss.
Hey.
We're all the boss because this is the Indistinct Conversation podcast, and we do boss-ass shit here. All right? That's what we do. We do some boss-ass shit. And this was a boss-ass podcast. All right? And so, you know, go watch working class music. Watch Nothing But Nelson. Watch IndiCon games. Okay? Because that is where the power lies, folks. That is where the power lies.
I give you, the people, the power.
Put it in your hand.
Yeah, we put it in your hands.
To the
people.
Yes. Woo-hoo. All right, we've reached this point again. So for Xander Cook and Jason Mays, I'm Nelson Crawford, and this has been the Indistinct Conversation podcast, and we'll see you next time. Que sera, sera, carpe diem. Tell you guys want to pose for the thumbnail real quick?
Thumbnail.
You get it? Yeah, exactly. All right. Peace out, folks. Get out of the basement.
Take care. Get out of the basement. Nice dig.